Think about who you were when you were going through whatever it is that makes up your story. And think about who you are today. Was there anyone that played a role in your life, that someone's story you heard, someone's testimony you heard, just anything you may have tapped into that let you know, okay, I can make it through this. It's not the end of the world. It's not over. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Think about that. Hey friends, welcome to the More Than a Mother show. I am your host, LaJuan Moses, and I am a mom on a mission to help you master your mindset, own your time, and make money moves. Join me each week for tangible tips, tools, and strategies you can use in motherhood, business, and life, as well as inspiring interviews from moms just like you, which will help you own your identity outside of motherhood and find the freedom to do more of the things that you love and enjoy. At More Than a Mother, we are redefining the way you think, feel, and look at motherhood. If you are enjoying this show, feeling inspired and motivated, learning something new, or just absolutely love the show, please do me a favor and help me spread the word. Screenshot this episode and share your biggest takeaways in your Instagram stories. And don't forget to tag me at LaJuan Moses and also tag at More Than a Mother podcast so that I can share your share with my audience. Each time you share the show, it helps me to reach more and more moms just like you. So are you ready, mama? Let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to the More Than a Mother podcast. This is your host, LaJuan Moses, and I'm back with you again for another great episode. I am so glad to have you here with me today, and I am glad that you're joining me, whether it's through YouTube on video, or if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today. My name is LaJuan Moses, and I am a success strategist for working moms. I am helping my clients to shift their mindset and unleash their power so they can start a profitable business and build a lasting legacy. My clients are taking back ownership over their lives so they can find the freedom to do more of the things that they love and enjoy. And I am so glad to have you here on my podcast today listening, because at More Than a Mother podcast, we believe that you can pursue your dreams and be a great mom at the same time. So if that sounds like you, you are definitely in the right place, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects of all, storytelling. I have always been a sucker for a great story. If you don't know this about me, I love reading, I love books, I love great stories. Fiction, nonfiction, self-help, whatever the books are, I love to read. And through reading, I've always loved to write as well. So as a kid, that's all I did. Read, write. Those were my hobbies. Those were my activities. Those were the things that brought me joy. And I believe through that, I developed this knack for storytelling through my writing, and now through my words, through my speaking, through those things that I do. I love a great story. Stories have a way of showing things in a different kind of light. They paint a picture. And me, I'm visual, so when I'm reading the story, I am seeing the picture, I'm seeing the scene play out. I just love everything about it. Today, I want to talk to you about your story and why your story matters. In case you didn't know, I believe in storytelling, and I believe that when we tell our stories, we act as portals of empowerment to others. By sharing our stories, we are empowering others to in turn share theirs. We're showing others that they're not alone. We all experience similar things. As they say, the names may change, the faces may change, but the situations stay the same. Believe it or not, we all have a lot more in common than we think. But we don't know that because we don't share our stories. A lot of us like to go through something, get through something, and keep it to ourselves or act like it never happened. We don't want to reach back and revisit those days when we weren't at our best. We don't want to share our not so glorious moments. We don't want to be transparent in our journeys. We just want people to see who we are as we are today. But that may work for you. And if that is you, then that is perfectly okay. But for me, I believe that when I tell my story, when I am transparent, that I am helping someone else to know that they are not alone in this journey called life. I've been through some things. I've gone through many things that I talk about on my podcast and in my writings and in my books. And then there are many things that happen that I do not talk about, that I do not share, because being in a public eye, public platform, yes, there are things that share, things that are on brand, things that go along, but you also have to maintain that personal component to your life. So as many stories as I do share, I have just as many that I do not share for my own personal reasons. But I share the lessons in those stories. Even if I don't tell the entire story, I am sharing the lesson. And to me, the lesson is what matters. The experience is what matters. The message at the end, showing that you made it, showing that you got through, is what matters when it comes to telling your story. I want to encourage you to own your story. Many of us don't like to dig deep. We don't like to remember. We don't like to go there because those, let's be honest, a lot of those things were dark spaces. They were not our best moments. They were not our brightest moments. So we don't want to touch them. We want to deal with it with a long-handed wooden spoon. We don't want to go anywhere near it because it causes us to remember who we are. But when we remember who we are and where we've come from, we can celebrate who we are today and where we stand today. And also just think about who you were when you were going through whatever it is that makes up your story. And think about who you are today. Was there anyone that played a role in your life, that someone's story you heard, someone's testimony you heard, just anything you may have tapped into that let you know, okay, I can make it through this. It's not the end of the world. It's not over. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Think about that. When you were in your mess, was there a message you heard? Was there a story you heard, a testimony, whatever it may be? Most likely the answer to that is yes. So think about it. If that story, if that moment, if whatever it was changed your life and let you see the light at the end of the tunnel, think about what you telling your story can do for someone else. But not only in telling your story are you helping to empower others, you're also empowering yourself by owning your story, by owning your mess, by owning your journey. You are empowering yourself to live for the future, and you're not staying bound by your past. You're not being held down by your baggage. You're not being held at a place that you can't escape from. When you own your story, you empower yourself. Do you want immediate access to new episodes, products, events, and even free tips, tools, and strategies delivered straight to you? Well, join the More Than a Mother community today. Head on over to lawanmoses.com and become a part of our community right now. That's www.lawannmoses.com. I can't wait to see you inside my community. Who better to tell your story than you? Because guess what? There are people that are out here telling your story. They're adding facts to it that aren't even facts. They're adding things to that story and making people believe that it's facts. They've got their own spin on it, their own extra details, their own sauce, whatever it is to make that story sound so much more exciting or so much more dramatic than it really is. So why give that power away? When you own your story, you're keeping that power and you're empowering yourself. You're not letting anyone else tell your story for you or have your story and write it the way they want to write it. You are writing your own script, your own narrative, and you are sharing it on your terms. Talk about empowering. Talk about empowerment with that. Sharing something on your own terms, your narrative, how it happened, and how you made it through. Not letting the gossipers or whoever may be talking tell your story and make people believe it's fact. You putting yourself at the forefront, owning this story, owning what happened to you, owning the things you've been through, and showing how you made it through to where you are today. When you own your story, you change yourself from being the victim to being the hero. I don't know if you've ever heard of or are familiar with the hero's journey, which is an exercise that is done in many practices and in many things, to where you're writing out your story, the things that happened to you, the things you encountered along the way. But instead of being the victim in the story, you are the hero. You've turned that journey into a heroic journey to where at the end you come out victorious. By owning your story, you become the hero of your story. The way that you tell it, the way that you share the positive, the negative, the lessons learned, the experiences that you had, and you control the narrative. What better way to be in control? When you own your story, you don't feel you have to hide behind anything. You don't have to feel ashamed. You don't have to feel embarrassed because you own it. It's a part of you, and you recognize that, yes, this happened to me, but it didn't stop me. It's not going to stop me. And I don't care what you say about my story or how you may tell my story or what your opinion may be about my story. This is my life experience. These are the lessons I learned. I am owning it, and there is no stopping me. There is so much empowerment in your story, not just for you, but for others also. I encourage you to share your story, whatever it is you may feel comfortable with. You may not have a story that you feel had so many twists and turns or bad moments. You may feel that you have a dull story. You may feel that you've taken a dull path and nothing really exciting has happened to you. But guess what? Someone can benefit from that story as well. When you share your story, no matter what it may be, there is someone out there that can relate to it. So don't feel that just because you took a traditional path, you may not have had many exciting things happen to you or these overcoming, triumphant stories that you hear so many people tell. Just think, if you're like that, there's someone else out here that is like that as well. So they can benefit from hearing your story, however it may be. Everyone doesn't always have to have these conquering, overcoming, triumphant moments. Some people may have just taken traditional paths and things have just gone well for them and they have made it to where they are through hard work, dedication, schooling, whatever it may be. But there are people that can benefit from hearing your story. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I don't know if you've ever heard that people connect with the person behind the business. They don't connect with the services. They don't connect with your credentials. They want to know the person behind it. So what better way to introduce people to the person that's in the business than by telling your story? Pick out those components of your story that can relate to your business and start sharing those stories on your social media, whatever platform you choose. Just start to share. Share something because people want to know the behind the scenes. They want to know you, not only just your business, but they want to know you. I encourage you today to write your own story, write your own script, get it done. Share what you want to share, control the narrative, put it out there, start to connect with those around you, own your story, and by owning your story, you know that you have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be embarrassed by. This is your life. This is your life experience. And look, you made it to the other side. So why not share so that someone can see that I once was down, I was out, I may have been feeling depressed, may not have had my best days, but look at me now. And if you're at that point, because I was there one day too, and you want to catch up on my stories, go back to season 1 and you can catch up on some of the many stories and triumphs and trials and moments that I've had in my life, obstacles, challenges, all of those things. Go ahead and check out season 1 of the More Than a Mother podcast, so you can catch up on some of my story and see just how I made it through. Because I want you to know that as a former teen mom, everything that I've encountered, battling illnesses, things in my personal life, relationships, all of that, I made it and you can make it too. Be encouraged. You can do it. Own your story so that no one else can write it for you. Thanks so much for listening. I'm glad that you joined me today. As always, be sure to subscribe, like, share, rate, and leave a review. Tag me in your Instagram stories. Leave some comments if you're watching this video. Just let me know that you're here. I love to connect with you all. I love to hear from you all. And until next time, remember, you've got this. Want to connect with me before the next episode drops? Do you want a preview of all the great things that are coming to the More Than a Mother podcast? Then join me over on Instagram and Facebook at More Than a Mother Podcast. I can't wait to connect with you.